Hi everyone, my name is Della Phillips. I'm an artist as well as I'm known as a bicycle aid. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Now, I'm going to have to ask you to help me out here. If you find the video enjoyable, entertaining, informative, anything, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Click on that thumbs up icon. It does help me. As well as subscribe. That helps me out a lot with YouTube. There's no charge for it. Also lets them know you like this type of content. Also it lets me know what you like to watch so I know what type of videos I should be making. Now what you see on my desk here is what is going to be used today. And that is Wolf carbon pencils. And I'm using those in celebration of the fact that I got my back order from Dick Blick of the 4B carbon pencil. Now you might say some of these are sharpened and been used. That's true. These are my current ones I'm using. I put the other ones away, but I did get my carbon pencils. So Blick came through again today. Yep. And the other thing I got out was my calipers. So I'm going to practice sighting using the calipers. But we're going to get more complex. Now I have been, and hopefully you've been following along with me, is sighting and sketching fruit using, getting my set rough measurements using sighting on fruit, vegetables, simple kitchen gadgets, tools, and some other things. So this next one, what I'm going to be doing is going to be a little more complex on sighting, which is the same type of exercise that you'll find if you're looking into Betty Edwards' Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain books and workbook, would be sighting a corner of a room or sighting an open doorway. We're going to be using an open doorway. And I'll bring up that photo. And that photo I got off Unsplash. Because the way my art desk is set up, as well as the single camera I'm using, which is on my phone, it's a little difficult for me to have the view from the top down as well as sighting to a corner. So I'm going to be using a picture. Now going further and practicing, I'm going to be doing both doors in person as well as doing sighting from a picture. But today I'm going to use the picture from Unsplash. I have a 8.5 by 11 Springhill computer vellum paper, 65 pounds. I love using it. It has a nice surface, a little bit of a velvet surface that I like working on. And we're going to go over sighting again. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and orient the paper the same orientation of the picture. Sometimes I like to change it around and make it like a portrait when the picture is a landscape, but I think I'll go with landscape today. All right, so the first thing I'll need to do is sight. Now, going over sighting, remember that you get your position of your hand so it's parallel this way, and you lock in your wrist and your arm in a set position that you remember, that you can get back to, because all the sighting needs to be done from a set position. Now, next thing to do is lock in your arm, keep it parallel, and take a set measurement. Now, some people will use one measurement, that's a set measurement, and then proportion off of that one set measurement. So, example, this width of this door, with the two slender doors, is, let's sight it there, approximately 2 of the width. It's maybe slightly different. So let me go ahead and put down, and I'm going to just grab, I believe, a little hard to see with the white. Yeah, this is the B pencil. I'm just going to make a quick tick mark here. So that's the width of the door. I think I'm going to give it a little bit of space. I'm going to move it up. And the bottom of the door, I'm just going to roughly draw in there. And that'll give me room here Hopefully you can see that. And that's the beginning of the door. Now, I want to double check where I tick marked it. Make sure the calipers have not moved. Everything is still set. And I'm going to go back to what I remember as my set. And double check. And if it's not right, I can move it this way or that way. And make sure that I remember exactly where I sighted. And then I can either use the double width or I can do this. I can resight. And that'll give you a little more accuracy if you keep on changing. The proponents initially were looking at doing the one sighting and then measuring the other ones. And you remember how many proportions it is. And that way you won't get thrown off like with this. So if I go back here and I do this, let's set it. And yeah, there we go. And okay, so that's just a recap of what you're doing there and keeping everything referenced off of this line is what I want to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and reference everything off of that. So it goes up to there we go. So let me go ahead and erase the one tick mark here. Now I've got everything in proportion, and let's double check. Yeah, so this should be approximately half. It basically is approximately half. So I now have the bases. Just need to draw a fairly straight line. It's a little harder since I don't have it slanted up. But I can't do that and keep the overhead camera proper so that you can see it best without being distorted from being slanted. So eventually, as we go on and I maybe can save up some more spuns or whatever, I'll be able to improve on some of this and maybe have one or more camera, well, more than one camera, so we can get a couple different views. So essentially, I'm just pretty well just estimating. And again, I am going to sight it. And I'm going to lock my hand in place. Double check it here. Okay, that's not quite close. Yeah. So now that I know exactly where it is, got everything locked in. Let me double check. Pretty close. Pretty close. It just needs to be down just a tad. And then here. Right on the money over there, pretty much. So we can bring down the door. Here. And there seems to be a little plate fixture here. And there is Actually, another panel going down this way too. And then you can have the cross bracing here. And you can just use your eraser, actually get down and dress it up a little more and take out those intersection lines. Now with the open door part of it, we're going to go back to siding again. I'm going to take the measurement here. I believe I can remember where I've locked it in. Yeah, there it is. And let's see. So that would make it basically approximately here. But I don't know if you can see very well, but there is a slant. And the way you can look at that, you can use the angle finder, which I showed you in the prior sighting, or you can hold this here along with your pencil and line them up, just like your sighting, to get the angle. So the angle appears to be, to me, if I want to get real exact, I get out the angle finder. It appears to be here. And it's even more shallow up here. And then there we go. And this is where below, because right here is a point here, so I'm going to bring it down here. Now, I can always go back and take out the extra lines. And there's the doorknob there. And when I do the cleanup, I believe there's something there, which is just about below there. And you have to look very, very closely, and you may even have to go through lightening and darkening to see the ribbing. But you'll see that the center one, actually you can see most of it, but this one is very compressed. And then below it, I'm just going to add, which is out of the picture, I'm just going to add this little thing. And then, not sure you can see very well, but this seems to be a stone surround on it, kind of framing the door. So I'm going to go back to siding and lock the arm, the elbow, and the shoulder. Get everything set. Make sure I have the same again. Okay. Now, like I said before, you can do this another way, as you can use just the one unit instead of doing all the adjusting. I decided I was going to go ahead and do adjusting. Let's make sure. Yeah, pretty much now. And here is the stone surround. So essentially I've got that sided. Now I'll probably lighten this up later on. Hopefully you can see everything. And looks like there may be, let's double check it. Is there a difference there? No, it's about the same. So let's just keep it the same here. Now, even if you get off a little bit, as long as you keep everything in proportion to each other, it doesn't matter. Because this is a drawing. This is not a photograph. I'm not using hyper-realism. But as long as you don't get it skewed and everything relates back to each other, it doesn't matter if it's slightly different than what you see in the picture or what you're seeing in real life. Because it's your drawing. It's art. It doesn't matter. Let me double check this. Oh, that's off. Let me move again. There we go. I'm hitting my cup over here. It's out of the picture. So, now I'm off a bit. Let's do this again. So it appears to be about a fourth or a third this distance. If I want to just use this distance here between the two doors, or I can adjust it this way. It seems to be slightly taller at the top than the width. And that's what there we go. So I'm going to and right here, there appears to be a cylinder light. More modern look to it. So, and then of course you have your very trimmed up shrubbery, which you can add in or not. I'm just roughly adding it in. And of course then there's the blocks. And the blocks appear to be slightly less than this width. So one line of block would be approximately this. There we go. And then there's various stucco things around here. I'm not into doing shading and texture yet, but that will be coming. And then you have a large shrub. And as you can tell, this is in a lighted situation with this over here. That you can always... I wanted to show you that I did take the drawing just did in the video with the preliminary lines and everything roughed out, and cleaned it up and took it just a little bit further, cleaning it up. I did do a tip on the shrubbery here. In the future, we're going to have to work a little bit more on the leaves and everything and how to represent that in drawings, but that will come in later exercises, not right now. Not too bad. And then, as you can tell, the doors have been dressed up and the lines have been evened up. Normally, probably going further, I would probably lighten the lines that delineate the panels in the door a bit. Right now, I'm going to leave it as is. As you can tell, this was the prior drawing. Here's the topiary shrubbery that I hadn't gotten to, and I'm just going to leave it like that. All in all, I believe it's a pretty good representation of the picture, and it was a good exercise on sighting, even though when I was doing the sighting, you could see where I held things up. I had a large picture off camera that was standing straight up that I took sightings of to then put on the paper. I was hoping that would help you. Going in the future, I'm going to be doing both in person, looking at the actual open doorway or other objects I need to sight and draw, as well as also working additionally from pictures, so I can practice both ways. I suggest if you're following along, please do the same. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will promptly respond, or if you have suggestions on how to further improve and maybe other options that you might work even better or enhance this, let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. So if you enjoyed the video, found it informative, please give it a thumbs up by clicking the thumbs up icon, as well as please subscribe. It will help me out a lot with YouTube, and it lets them know that you like this type of content, as well as lets me know that you enjoyed the videos I'm making, and to continue. Until next time, you have a wonderful day, and bye for now.